Hello friends, Tanya here, and I am playing with some Spellbinders goodies. I am playing with some of the new Sealed by Spellbinders collection. This is the geometric flower background foil plate, and I want you to see something special here. You see these little pieces extending beyond the main body of the plate. This is the little half circles that are the centers of the flowers, and this is going to help you line this up for a continuous pattern. I have a 5x7 piece of cardstock here, and I am doing my first run here on the cardstock using some Moonstruck foil, and then I am going to line up those little pieces that you see sticking out beyond that main panel to continue this pattern down the entire piece of cardstock. For all of you people who enjoy making bigger cards, slimline, 5x7, half of a, say if you took a piece of cardstock and folded it in half and that was your card base, yes, this is what you're going to love. This turns out gorgeous. I did the same thing using one of the matte foils, and I'm going to do some ink blending using Twisted Citron, saltwater taffy, worn lipstick, and squeezed lemonade distress oxide inks. Several of the plates in the Sealed by Spellbinders collection have coordinating stencils. 4 stencils that will help you create a beautiful stenciled pattern over these foiled backgrounds. This one creates kind of a floral background. I did use it in one other way. You could use it in lots of different ways. So we're going to start with the saltwater taffy. This particular pattern, I am going for a soft pink two-tone flower with some background here. I have laid this stencil on. Actually, I taped my cardstock to my work surface, and now I am lining up each of these stencils. For these 2 stencils, and yes, these are 2 different stencils, I am lining up the centers of the flowers as my main way of lining them up. I did risk it big time the first part of this stencil, because this is the same stencil as I used for the top. So we're just continuing this pattern down the entire piece of cardstock. I did not mask off the area below the stencil. Well, this time I got a little smarter, so I didn't have to be quite as meticulously careful, and tucked that under the edge so it wouldn't get onto the previously stenciled portion. Now I'm going to just continue stenciling with the other 3 layers. We're going to move on to our second petal layer, and this one we're using worn lipstick. And you're going to see these flowers just start to emerge. This also could look like squares, however your eye lands on the pattern and sees it best. The centers of these flowers or squares are going to be squeezed lemonades. We have some bright yellow centers. And then we're going to add some background. So this, to my vision, is a field of pink flowers. So we've got some green grass in the background, and we've got the beautiful pink flowers showing through. This is the Twisted Citron. And here we have both areas complete. Look at that. Now, I haven't found a way to avoid having that white line in the center. I suppose you could ink over that, but I'm going to find some creative ways to just layer. Now we're going to use some candied apple. Oh golly, I forget what I think it was candied apple, worn lipstick, mustard seed, and mowed lawn, and that creates more of a Christmas feel. Here I've taken the same foil plate and done it with just green and yellow. This one is 2 blues, a yellow and a green. Again, more of a dark teal, and this one features more of a square pattern. Here I have the just foiled version, and I am going to introduce some other products here. This is the Postage Edge Circles. This is going to be coming out, I think in mid-November is when this comes out. I am so excited about these Postage Edge dies. They have the postage edge and a circle die. So different, or in this one, a circle, but other details to layer in. I love a good layering die set. Anything that is going to help me add some extra shape and specialness to my cards. I love it. They are so amazing. I like having lots of different shapes to do some layering on my cards. I did add a little extra depth to this layered piece. We have a vellum postage edge circle with the coordinating circle die on the inside, which has not a stenciled version, just the Glimmer foiled pattern. And we're going to layer that on top of our Christmassy foiled and stenciled pattern. I love how this looks. It's kind of spotlighting, but not really, because we're going to add some of these beautiful die cut sentiments. This is from the Mix and Match Holiday Greetings die set. This came out, I believe, in August, and I cut these all from some mirror gold cardstock. That's also available in the Spellbinders shop. Delicious. It is the most delicious of the foiled cardstocks available. Gold, silver. I believe they came out with another color too. I can't remember which color it was though. They did come out with some pearlized cardstock recently. They have brushed black and brushed gold. I think they have silver and white now. Those are just stunning. I love all of those specialty cardstocks. We're going to adhere these to the center of our beautiful postage edge centerpiece. And a couple of these sentiments have two pieces, the capital letter and then the rest of the sentiment, and they're very easy to line up. I'm just adding little dots of glue using my Spellbinders, well, no, not Spellbinders, the Barely Art Precision Glue, which is my go-to glue. Just little dabs. You do not have to cover the entire thing. And if you think you have gotten too much glue on the back of your die cut, just dab a little off on some scrap paper or the back of your hand. Next, I've pulled out some of the Holiday Blooms dies and created a bouquet of Christmas-themed florals. There is a whole line of the Blooms series, and they coordinate well together. I did only use one of those die sets here. They're beautiful layering foliage and bloom die sets, and this one has a lot of potential to be expanded far beyond a holiday bouquet. The only thing that is specifically holiday in this, I believe, is the poinsettia. The rest could be any season. I do love these medium-sized blooms that you can layer together. They are just gorgeous. I have one white one and one peachy pink one. We've got several little leaves we can add in. We have some pine boughs, and we have these multi-floral stems. Some of them look like seed pods, some of them look like berries, and some of them look kind of like a bell-shaped flower. I had a bunch of these already made up and were convenient to just throw on this card. Now, don't be afraid to modify any of these die cuts to make them fit your vision for your card. As you see, I snip off some of the stems to help them fit in better for my layout. This is, of course, a 5x7 card. This is my favorite size to make. It does have a big impact. I love that. Next, I'm going to pull in a sentiment. You could pull in an inside sentiment from any of your stamp sets. This is from the October Stamp and Die of the Month kit, and I think it worked perfect. So I'm just adding that sentiment, stamping it with some VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And I have a scrap of leftover of that pattern paper that we created for the front that I'm adding to the inside of the card. I love to bring some coordination to the inside just to bring the whole project together. And that's my first card. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm using some of these little, oh golly, I forget what they're called, but use them for flower centers, etc. And they are available in the Spellbinders shop. I'll have them linked in the description box below. I have these little tiny, oh, I really wish I could remember what they're called. Anyway, I add a little dot of glue to the center of my poinsettia, add some of these little pearly thingies, and shake off the excess. Next, we're going to play with the Woodgrain background foil plate. Now, this one is the from the Sealed for the Holidays from Spellbinders. And I love me a good wood grain. I decided to do this with pink foil on pink cardstock, and look at that. Again, this is a 5x7 piece of cardstock. I'm just going to lay it down a second time. There is no need to line this up as an organic type pattern. There is not any specific way this needed to line back up. So I just laid it on there for the second foiling, and it works perfect. And as you can see, my foil plates laid this way don't fit exactly on the silicone mat, but close enough. Look at that. Next, we're going to pull in this adorable magical deer. This came out in September, and I don't know why I haven't played with it yet. Here you can see I've die cut all of the pieces for this pretty deer, and I am going to start assembling it. I am going to back these die cut holes in the main body of our reindeer with some darker brown. I wanted that to shine through, and I did not want to have to inlay those little tiny pieces. I think it looks better to back these pieces with another color than it does to inlay these little tiny pieces. We have the beautiful chest piece. Here we've got this cute little motif that goes over his back, kind of like a blanket. Nice Nordic feel to that. We've got extra detail on the white tail, like a white-tailed deer, and lots of other cute little pieces to add extra definition to your deer. There are marks embossed into each of these pieces, so you know where each of them lay when you need to adhere them. I did try doing a dark brown nose and hooves, but I think the black really was a better bet. Even the connection points for the antlers are super easy. I love that they've created a good place to adhere them. And we have these little tiny details that are the hooves. This is such an adorable deer, and it actually came together fairly quickly. There is our completed deer. He's so sweet. Now we're going to take the Ski Lodge embossing folder. This also came out at the same time as the magical deer, and we're going to use that as our highlighting element on the center of our 5x7 card here. I have trimmed down our wood grain piece and backed it with a little bit of scrap cardstock, and we're going to adhere that to a heavyweight white cardstock base that is 5x7, and I backed our embossed matte piece that's going behind our deer also with a little bit of scrap cardstock. And then we're just going to adhere our deer down on the front of the card. I did add some extra layers of the main body and the head behind him to make him a little taller. And then I pulled out a sentiment from the October Glimmer of the Month kit. It says Winter Wishes. And I glimmer foiled it in, I think that is in the gold, and it's from the, I guess that's glimmer set is called Poinsettia Spray. And I have layered it 3 times with 2 pieces of extra scrap cardstock, and we'll adhere that to the card front right below the hooves of our cute little deer. I love how this all comes together. Inside, we're going to add a sentiment from last year's Friendly Snowman. I believe it's still available. And to match kind of a gold tone without having the extra juiciness of a metallic ink, I'm using this Stardust ink from Concord & Ninth. Going to stamp that on the inside. And I wanted this to be not necessarily a Christmas card, just anything you might send in the winter. We're also going to use the Ballet Slipper ink and just a block. I'm not using a stamping platform. And we're going to use a snowflake from the Holiday Gnomes that came out last year. Also, feel free to dig through your stash and find something that works. I love to shop my stash, and at this point my stash is pretty big. That is something that sneaks up on a person. There's always something you want to pick up. I love the way those two combined. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you enjoyed the most about this video. If you haven't subscribed, now would be a great time. Give us a thumbs up. Super helpful. Love it. And if you're interested in any of the products I used today, check that description box below. They will be listed and linked as always. Until next time, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Bye-bye.